Hi everyone, Caroline here. Question for you. Have the trees ever spoken to you? Have you ever heard trees speaking to you? If you work with crystals, you probably know that crystals communicate. But have you ever had trees speaking to you? I know there are people who work with plant energy and with Gaia directly, and people who love trees and are connected to trees, and trees speak to them on the regular. But for some of us who are just kind of now finding different ways in which different things are communicating with us, I mean, nature is communicating to us, it's kind of exciting. You know what I mean? So the reason I'm asking about this is because the other day I was just walking down the road. It was just along the state roads, along the highway, nowhere where trees are. And as I was walking, I was looking at the sun because that is what I usually do. I walk in the direction of the sun and then I do my meditations as I feel the rays of the sun coming through my body, right? And that day, there was a bunch of trees on the side of the road or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I heard these words: we are not real trees. If you want real trees, go into the forest where the wind has blown our seeds. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Out of the blue, we are not real trees. I had never really thought about they are not being real trees, and I wasn't for sure expecting this information to come to me so loud in my ear, to be sent as a loud message that I could hear it like that in the most random manner, and that I could hear that message just out of the blue. I wasn't even thinking about it, but I thought it was really important for me to know because I'm thinking, am I going to be moving into a foresty area? Is this part of my next process? You know what I mean? Like, why is this message coming to me now? And I have to take this thing seriously because if the trees are speaking to me and telling me that if I want to find them, to go into the forest where the wind has blown the seeds, and therefore that is where the real trees are. And I gotta tell you, I have to take this thing seriously because who knows how things are gonna be going in the future. And to be honest, this thing got me thinking because I'm thinking there's a lot of people who usually go out into nature, they go into these artificial parks to rejuvenate, and they come back the same, or they think that something has happened and maybe something has not happened. They still come back the same. People are still stressed. People are still experiencing the things that, you went to offload in the forest, but it's an artificial forest where the seeds were not planted naturally. Because I know some of these people these days, they plant trees out there. Like if you go to many of these suburban areas or whatnot, there's a lot of tree planting. The trees have been planted using seeds that have been input by man. It's not something which the wind has blown and allowed to find its own roots and its own, environment to grow in because it has chosen to do that. It's something almost like those trees are planted. You gotta be here by force. You gotta be here because I said so. You gotta be here because you're here to make this area look pretty. And it's just this whole artificial thing about how things are that are causing a lot of stress in us. We don't even realize it. We think maybe just because, oh my gosh, it looks natural, it's a tree. There are many trees here. It's the park that has been provided by the government. You know what I mean? But we do not know, or we do not understand that some of these artificial things are not going to work for us. It's just like the way it is when you're working with any kind of artificial tool. It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's a fake crystal, it will never ever bring the benefit of a real crystal other than to show you some things about certain things about you. You know what I mean? If you're getting like fake crystals all the time, like we said, you gotta ask yourself why. If you get the real thing, you gotta ask yourself why as well. Same thing. The fake nature that is out there, the fake trees, the fake parks, the fake forests, they're not doing anything for us. The seeds have to be planted. And this is just something I never really thought about, to be quite honest, other than the fact that on that random day, those random trees spoke to me, and I heard clearly that there are places that are existing. And maybe that is the secret that people knew in the past about what nature used to do. You know what I mean? The forests were real, everything was real. There was none of these fake things. You know what I mean? So, what do you think about these things? Have trees spoken to you? And have you noticed a difference between being out in the forest or being out in real nature where seeds are brought there by the wind and planted, as opposed to being in an environment where the government or random people have planted trees to prevent whatever? Tell me what you think about this thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And until next time, stay balanced, stay real, and keep listening and trusting your guides. Bye.